Hello, Eddie. It's me, Nikki, and today I'm here with a book review. I don't have a physical copy of the book, but I'll pop it up right here. It is Traits and Traitors, Book 2 of the Intelligencers series, I believe. That is what it is called. I've talked previously in a wrap-up about the first book, Pirates and Privateers. Yes, it is the Intelligencer series. And both of these were kindly sent to me by Taiki Books. They are a Canadian independent book publishing company. And the third book, which I probably have the title somewhere if I can find it. The third book is coming out sometime this year. I think it was supposed to come out earlier, but COVID happened, so because I know that's happened with a couple other books as well. They were supposed to be released earlier, but they got pushed back. It's not here. Well, I will find it. So the first book is the setup for the world. Okay, the third one is called Sailors and Spies. So this is a fantasy world. I would say equivalent to maybe like the 1800s. There's no cars, anything like that. There's pirates. They use ships to do all the trading. And in the first book, you learn about... Did I tell you the first book? The first book is Pirates and Privateers. And it is about a woman named Dagrun Lund, and she has a twin sister, Inger, I-N-G-E-R, maybe Inger, and Dags, not everybody has a trait, but the ones that the Master Intelligencer, Joosep, Joosep, not 100% sure how to say that, has gathered them together, and this comes up in the second book. They know each other, but they don't know each other's trait. Only Joosep knows all of them. So Dag's trait is unseen. So even though her and her twin sister are identical, nobody ever really sees her, like in a crowd, and she can see hidden things, like hidey holes, or like she says she gets an itching back here when there's something like in plain sight, and she can find it that way. In the first book, there's path through this rocky embankment or type of thing, sort of like, I don't know, like from the Odyssey, like between a rock and a hard place essentially, and she can see the hidden dangers underneath the surface, so she can go through, just that kind of stuff. So she makes a good spy, essentially, because nobody ever really notices her, even though she stands out. Like, she's exactly like her twin sister. Her twin sister, Inger, we'll go with Inger. Her trait is seen. So when she's in a crowd, everybody looks at her. She can't lie. And she's naive. She always believes everything everybody tells her, unlike Dag, who is like, not so sure. But Joseph decides that Dag's unseen trait is better than Inger's seen trait, so he's like, yeah, you can stay, but I'm not going to train you. And that comes up in the second book as well as being a bad idea. So in the first one, Dag comes home, her sister's gone. Her sister has run away to a pirate island. So Dag goes there and is like, you can't stay here, they're pirates, we need to go home. And Inger's like, but they're my friends and they're really nice. So Dag's like, okay. And then she meets with another man, not another man, named Calder, where is he? I should have written this down, but I didn't. I'm still new. Calder something. I'm sure that'll be somewhere later. And his trait is luck. So, say he needs to get from point A to point B, and there's a road blockage, he'll have something lucky happen, and he'll get, like, to go around it, or whatever. And you find out that he did have a twin who was unlucky, and the boy died because he was unlucky. So, Calder and Dag meet up, and they tell each other their traits, and that's like a big thing. And it actually is very good because Dag, Unseen, and Cal's luck work really well together, and they work really well together. So they find out what's happening. The pirate queen Marguerite, I did write that down. Margit, Anne's daughter, I believe that's how you say that. And she's working with a politician named Holt. I think his first name is Tominus. But he's like, it's like everybody, there are upper class, right? And they're called freeholders. And I know that's a thing, but I can't think of where from. And at the moment, Holt is the head freeholder, and he wants to stay the head freeholder and not, I don't know if it's an election or if it's just like a rotation. He doesn't want to be out of that job. He likes the power. So he's working with her to do what we don't know in the first book. Inger, I can't pick a way to pronounce it, doesn't want to come, and she ends up working with the pirates because there's another pirate whose trait is like loyalty. It's like a vibe she puts out, basically. I'm not sure else how to describe it because there's another character who we'll meet later whose trait is like charisma, and everybody likes him, and it just seems to be like a vibe they're putting out. So yeah, the loyalty Inger is like, she understands but she doesn't because of her trait type of thing. And so she's taken, and the first book ends with Dag and Cal following behind, or not really behind, but like following and seeing what's gonna happen. So the second book, sorry, opens up with Dag and Cal watching Margit and Inger, like, Inger herself isn't burning this town down, but she's there. It's like a ghost ship, and because she is seen, everybody's attention is on Inger, and so they don't, when they finally do notice the fires, it's too late, and they have a little argument about it, but it all works out in the end. And like I said before, their traits together is like the ultimate power. And the boy with charisma is Gustav, and he's young. I probably maybe like 18 or 19, pretty young. He hasn't quite finished intelligencer training, but in the first book, Joseph gave him a job to spy on Holt using his charisma. So now Gustav he's learning not to trust anyone, not even his fellow intelligencers. Oh, and at the end of the first book, Joseph, I don't know how to say either of these names, I apologize. He was kidnapped by Holt, and now he's being starved and beaten because Holt wants, because Joseph, I don't know, he might have like a full list. I don't think he's memorized it, but he has a full list of all the students and all the teachers and what all their traits are, and Holt wants it, but Joseph won't give it up. And it is mentioned that Cal has dark skin. I believe he gets that from his father, who is from another country type of thing. I'm not sure. There were no maps, which was fine, but I wasn't always quite sure where everything was when they were mentioning it, but whatever. And like randomly, this thing about horses don't like Cal, like, at all. They always want to get to him, and then they like bite him, and they mention this a lot near the beginning, so I don't know if that's like gonna be a thing later or if that's just a joke. And the ghost ship attacks that first town they saw, and then I think one or two more before hitting the main town, and it's destroying warehouses, harbors, and ships. So at this early stage, Cal and Dag figure out that whatever Holt wants, it has to do with him having the only available ships. And Gustav, he's a cinnamon roll. He is a good kid. When he uses his charisma, he doesn't want to hurt people with his trait. So, like, in the early chapters, he's trading things to stay hidden. So we always make sure to be nice about it. And Joseph escapes, and he does violently murder someone to escape. So that, beware of that if you don't really like blood or anything. At the end of the first book, Cal and Dag sort of became an item, and they still kind of are, but at the moment they're like, we have bigger things to worry about. Tark Lee is the main town. A new character is introduced called Nadez. She has no trait, but she was an intelligencer. She they offered her Joseph's role of master intelligencer, but she turned it down. At some point, everybody meets up, and they talk about what they know, but they have to split up because Holt and Margit are after Cal's family, because his name, I remembered what it was. It's Cal Ramson, and he only goes by Rom. So maybe it's Romson. I'm not sure. So, and Margit has an unseen trait. I don't know how strong it is. Dag's is pretty strong, and I think Margit's is as well. So even though she doesn't quite know where Cal's family is, she should be able to find it. So you get to meet Cal's brother, his sister, and his mom. Him and his mom don't get along. She doesn't quite blame him for his brother dying, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard, I'm sure. And then she's also mad because his father packed Cal off to go train to be an intelligencer. There is a Jack, Jaak, who was in the first book. He used to run with Margit and got out, but then he got back in. And him and Cal go off together because Jack is like, he didn't ever want it to be a pirate. He doesn't particularly like killing people. I noticed there's a lot of bathing, and I don't know why. Like, they're always taking a hot bath. I just thought that was interesting. There's a lot of politics. Like I said, Holt is a dick and he wants to stay in power forever, and he's using, like I said, the burning of the ship, so he's the only one that has it. And then Dag knows everybody's trait. I think she saw a list, or just because of her unseen, she knows what everybody's trait is. And when she meets up with Joseph and Joseph's assistant, Arnor, they make a list of everything. And Nadiz is also in charge, which Joseph doesn't like because Joseph is very injured from his kidnapping and beating and starvation. And Dag and Nadez are basically going to change everything, and Joseph is like, what are you doing? I was completely right and perfect. And Dag says this, and I said it too. Joseph, like, dismissed Inger's trait, and Dag was like, well, how many other traits has he dismissed that would have been helpful? And I'm like, just because you don't think a trait is helpful doesn't mean it isn't, you know? Like, obviously, the pirates are using Inger's seeing trait to their advantage, so Joseph could have used it as well. I do feel bad for him because Joseph, not a lot, but a little bit, because at some point he does realize that he really did fuck up. And at that point it's like almost too late. And of course, it's not just Holt. There's a whole conspiracy. And let's see what else. I don't want to give too much away. There is some violent murder and blood. There is rioting, torture, beating. And so one of the things that was burned was food. And then at some point, Holt controls all the food, and he sets up, it's not quite layaway, but you come in and you say, I need food, and they give you so much, and then they give you like an IOU, you have to pay it back, but you can't get anything else until you've paid it back. So yeah, rioting starts over that, as you would assume, and then at that point things just start picking up steam. And Gustav is being a sweet boy and making sure everybody's safe and helpful. And then Dag and Cal meet up again because Cal's come with his mom at least, and they've done stuff over there, which I don't want to spoil because it's pretty cool. But Cal and Margit have a sort of face-off on boats, and she may or may not go down with her ship. There's no body, so no proof in my opinion. They do this all the time in like movies. You see a character go off a ledge into the ocean, but you say, oh, they're dead, but no body, no proof. That's my opinion. And it's a good ending. I mean, they don't quite get Holt. That is for book 3, I assume. But, yeah. It doesn't end happily, for, because there's still going to be not a lot of ships. There's going to be a food shortage. There will still be rioting. But Holt, and I think Holt still might be the Grand Freeholder. I'm not sure how that will work. They are going to talk to the guy who would have been next in line. So, yeah, you thought it was a really good book. I liked the first one, and I'm very excited for the third one. Let's see if I can click on it and see when it comes out. You can get the ebook first, I believe. Oh, it looks like it is out. You can get it on Kindle. So, yes, I'm going to assume that it is out. So, yes, that's exciting. And the covers are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. I like the model that they use. I assume that's Dag, so also Inger. But yeah, and I just like the colors of it, and the model is cool and badass. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this book series. I actually want to buy them physically because I do like them so much. So I will have to do that. And I would also recommend checking out TaikiBooks.com. I'll make sure to link that down below because they have like some steampunk stuff. They have like on their books, it's like a bookshelf, so you gotta turn your head to read everything. They got some steampunk stuff, and yeah, definitely recommend that. So yes, it was a wonderful story. I cannot wait to see how it ends. And I would definitely recommend it to read because they're not like super long books. Let me see if I can find it. Like, the paperback is $2.68 for the first one. And $2.56 for the second one. And let's see what the third one is for the Kindle. That's $3.15, so that's the longest one. You can also get it at Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and a couple other places. So yeah, it's a very quick read, very enjoyable. At times you just want to like smack some of the characters in the head, like, why are you so stupid? But I thought all the characters were very good, and I'm just like interested in that world and immersed in that world, and I want to know more about it. So yeah, I definitely recommend it, like I said. And that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Goodbye.